All right. Hi, Dawar. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm good, just tired, exhausted, and sick. So I'm sorry if I don't sound good. But yeah,
Oh, it's all right. I hope you get well soon.
thank you.
So, for everyone who's listening, this is Dawar Khan joining us for today's podcast. Dawar
Yay.
here is the director and co writer of the new film Rogue.
Yeah, I am.
So, Dawar, you're going to be
Yeah.
you're going to be answering a few questions that are based on your journey.
All right. Yeah, let's go.
All right. What was the first thing that came to mind when you decided to write a script?
I never wrote a professional script before, so it took a while. Like me and my partner, we wrote a script, and it was a rough draft, and the format for the script wasn't an actual script format. The writing was very interesting to tackle on because it's kind of scary to find the right words and proper to actually form the proper sentences, because this will actually end up in the opening sequence. And it took a while, but after a few tries, we finally came up with the final version of the script, and I'm really proud of it.
Well, sounds like fun. So
Yeah.
let's move on to the next question.
All right.
When you started field work, like when you went to shooting,
Yeah. Yeah.
what issues did you face and how did you overcome?
There were a lot of issues because I guess we are shooting in the time of a pandemic, and the entire world is on lockdown.
That's
And
right, we're masked people.
yeah, and it just took a while to adjust to that, especially like in quarantine. It was very mentally and physically exhausting and draining, but just to coordinate the plans and areas was kind of hard because of transportation as well. Because you also have to be very careful since we are in a pandemic and everyone has, people, old people in their
Yeah, everyone has
houses,
someone
and
important near them
yeah,
that they don't want
yeah.
exposed to the virus in case of deadly effects or consequences. So I understand.
Exactly. Yeah, and because of long distance as well. But we went to multiple locations to shoot the opening sequence, and just to have multiple options open so we know which direction we want to go in, just in case one isn't good enough. And
That's wise.
honest, yeah, that was a really good idea because most of it was not good. Uh, but we finally did that, and it was really cool, and it was a learning experience, and I'm really proud of it.
If there's one thing you feel has improved in your production skills, be it camera work or editing, what is it? Hmm? What's the thing you improved upon? And in what way do you feel you have improved upon?
Well, honestly, it was a challenge. I have never made an opening sequence before. It was a new world for me, and to just dive into it. And when you first dive into it, there's so many options and so many different ways you can go about it that it can honestly be kind of confusing and hard sometimes. And but I managed through it, thank God. And I haven't used a professional camera before, and this was my first time actually using a camera, learning to how to just use the basic tools for it, and how to shoot, and how to place it on a tripod, and how to move it, in a pan form for the opening sequence. And that was really cool. For software, I use Adobe Premiere Pro and Adobe Photoshop. So I haven't used those before, even though I knew that those two apps existed. And it took me a while to actually get the hang of it, but I finally learned how to use the apps. I am very socially awkward sometimes, especially because like we're in a pandemic, so you have to be like very careful as well. You cannot interact that much with a person, so it was like you have to learn how to get along with people and how to know that this is also a different person with their own thoughts and ideas, and you have to be open to everything and just go about it in a very chill manner. And yeah.
My last question for you is, how was the experience of being part of a team? Were there any disagreements between you and your teammates?
Honestly, okay, this is very interesting, but we had a lot of people who like came into our project and left because we were still like learning how to hire actors and fire them as well, and just know which one's good enough for the role. And it took us a while to actually find decent actors. So there were moments when we had one actor and then we had two more, but all three of them ended up not being in the final cut. And yeah, we it honestly took a while to it takes a while sometimes to get used to it, but overall, it was a learning experience. It was honestly a really nice uh way of doing the work because doing it alone would have definitely been even harder. And I didn't have that many disagreements with my partner, which was amazing. We agreed on most of the things and we were on the same page. Like we only had minor disagreements, which were like only on like, oh, should this shot be in this area or like just figuring out the placement. But other than that, it was all really good. And yeah,
All right, then, Davar, thank you for joining us.
you're welcome.
And
Thanks.
I guess until next time.